another thing. I was getting into the GOAT conversation, and it reminded me of you. Because you know how we get into GOAT conversations, bro?
What they said this time.
Yeah. So I was like real quick. So me and my friend, right? We were talking about.
Who's your friend?
Oh, he's not a church person.
Oh.
His name is Mike. But we were talking about he's a basketball guy. I'm a basketball guy too. Whatever. So we were talking about the greatest of all time, and this conversation always seems to come up either in social media, within your inner circles, within your proximity of whatever, right? So it's always a topic of conversation with a self-proclaimed basketball head. I'm a basketball head. Caleb, you're a basketball head. So everybody talks about the greatest of all time, and it always seems to be narrowed down between the Michael Jordan fanboy and the LeBron James lover.
I mean, it's really what you're looking for, though.
Yeah. So I come from a cloth because I'm a little bit older, so I don't want to date myself, but I grew up, I remember being in middle school watching Michael Jordan do what he did in real time. And I was a Knicks fan, and I still am a Knicks fan. So every time the Knicks played the Bulls, it's like, bro, like he always, and we had like really good, formidable teams at the time with Patrick Ewing, John Starks, Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, Spike Lee in the sidelines screaming and hollering, and Michael Jordan.
I was a John Sparks fan, so.
Yeah. So, man.
John Starks, sorry.
Yeah, John Starks, 3-point specialist. Yeah, so it was just one of those things where I come to an understanding now, just seeing LeBron James as an older statesman in the league. Like, I can't deny what he's done in his 20 plus years now. He's going on his.
That's
20.
why I said it really depends on what you're looking for.
Right.
I mean, if you're looking for somebody who just doesn't care and he's going to close out the game and he's going to win the game because he knows what it feels like to lose, you're going to go with Michael Jordan.
Right.
Because he has a different mindset.
Yeah.
He wants the ball in his hand.
Yeah.
With LeBron, he's an all-around player. He's looking to get everybody better.
Yeah.
You know, that's debatable too.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you're a true point guard, you can't play with LeBron.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true. That is very true. And I think too, like a lot of people, because I feel like Michael Jordan and LeBron James are two polarizing figures in the game of basketball, that we tend to overlook Magic Johnson, right? Mm-hmm. Magic Johnson was LeBron James before there was ever a LeBron James.
He was a point forward.
He was a point forward. Yes. And there was no such thing as a point forward until Magic Johnson came in the league, and he just kind of took it by storm, you know, playing alongside Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and all these other greats, Laker greats, right? But I think if we are to dissect talent by talent, style by style, the comparison should be, in my opinion, Magic Johnson and LeBron James, because they're very similar. It's just that LeBron James is a 2.0 version of Magic Johnson.
For sure.
Because of his, you know, he's just a very, very athletic, strong athlete. He's a freak. Like even when he went in the league, he was a man child. Like he was a man amongst boys when he was playing in high school.
But then it gets shaky with that. So if we're going to make that comparison, sadly, you're going to have to go with Magic Johnson. I'm going to tell you why. He's a better ball handler. Okay. LeBron can't really handle the rock. You know, if you have somebody that gets in front of him, you know, his goal is to drive and kick.
Yeah, he's a freight train, I feel like.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes that cost him the game. Think about the time when they played, I think it was 2009, and they played the Orlando Magic. Yep. And he had the baseline drive. And instead of him just going for the layup or the reverse layup, he kicks it to Mo Williams' opposite corner. He misses the shot.
And they lose the game.
Yeah. I remember that as a kid because tears was down my eyes. Because I'm like, yo, we about to win this.
Yeah.
We're about to win this. And then I realized, you know, like, of course, Orlando had a good team then, too. Mikael Petrus, Jameer Nelson, Dwight Howard. Yeah. So, like, for me, those are like ingredients for great teams. Oh, you're right. But Turkoglu.
Turkoglu, yeah.
3-point specialist.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets tricky, because even now he's a better ball handler than when he first started the league.
Yeah.
But then Magic Johnson just dribbles the ball better than him again.
I think also the point of argument to the Michael Jordan fanboy is that they always will go to the 6-0 in the finals.
That's easy.
It's easy to do, right? To even say, because he's the one that did 2 3-peats. It's unheard of. But LeBron broke a record, and it wasn't just a record. It was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. And no one has done that far.
How long was Michael Jordan in the league?
Well, he retired once, came back, then retired again, and then came back as a wizard.
Right, but remember,
18 years?
Right, so 4 years in 82 plus games, that's going to be a big difference maker. You know, LeBron wants to play until his son is there, so it's going to be hard to break that.
Yeah. What do you think, Kay?
Who's the GOAT?
Yeah, who's the GOAT?
Man.
Listen, I always tell people, like, it's always like GOATs now, using the word term GOAT has been just so out there,
like loosely used,
loosely, because like we go, like everybody, like some people consider Stephen Curry to be the GOAT. You know,
depending on who you ask, for sure.
You know, like depending on who you.
I think the newer generation
like
would say that.
Yeah, so like even football, a lot of people think. Some people say Tom Brady the GOAT, but other people will say Patrick Mahomes the GOAT. You know, and so it's always depending on the GOAT. See, my bias just comes from like at a clutch game, you know, and what makes it this is 2 things why I consider Jordan a GOAT. One, he has left a franchise. And when he left the franchise and went to baseball, he did not just change the Bulls, like as they were decreasing in tickets. It was the whole NBA. Like Absolutely. People was like, oh, he's not coming and watch. Like Michael Jordan's not playing no more, so it's like, why are we coming to watch the game?
You don't feel like that LeBron did that to Cleveland?
Not really, because Kyrie came along. You know what I mean? Kyrie came along.
I hear you, but it did plummet.
It plummeted, but not. It didn't plummet like Michael Jordan. He tried to do that
to Miami and it didn't work.
See, but here's the thing.
LeBron tried to do it to Miami. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
It's not going to work that easy.
With Michael, the whole NBA crumbled, and I was just like,
okay, I understand.
I'm like, so he made an impact in the game in that kind of way. And 2, I'm always big on like who got it in fourth. You know what I mean? And here's the crazy thing: as coaches and coaches like that would. If you're watching, say you're a coach, you will understand this philosophy. Is that like you're down 2, down 3, and you're the opponent coach, and you're like up 3 points, and you know the person you need to stop, but we need to stop him. You know, and the crazy part is
you're gonna say what I think you're gonna say,
but I don't think I might say it, but I don't know. But the crazy part is that we all know every coaches from the assistant coach to GM, everybody knows the ball's going to Michael. So we need to stop Michael. We're going to double team Michael and everything. Michael has this philosophy. It's like, I don't care. Double team me, triple team me. The game is mine. I want the ball.
Yeah, he has that killer mentality.
Nobody, you know what I mean? So it's the killer mentality that I love is that even though he missed it, that's cool. The thing about him is because he take it so personal. You see it on the TV show One Last Dance. Yeah. He's going to make sure that ain't going to happen ever again.
Right.
So that's why I love him. But even though in stats, you look at stats, and this is why I tell people, you look at stats, the person who has the most clutch game is LeBron James.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm not disagreeing with that. However, it's just the moments that I have seen Michael do. Not like I've been there physically.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, watching and doing research, I'm just like, yo, as a coach, you know dang well, like, it's going to him.
Yeah.
Like, they ain't running no plays. They ain't running no sets. It's him that's ISO and everything.
Yeah.
So
and he still clutch it.
I want to piggyback and rebuttal that.
Okay.
So first, I want to piggyback and say the reason why I agree that Michael Jordan is the GOAT is when you join a team, do you make everybody better? Steve Kerr could have been subpar. Tony Kukoc. Dennis Rodman, he was good, but he got greater when he was with. Everybody gets better with Michael Jordan.
And I think Scottie
like that with LeBron.
Scottie Pippen was definitely his Robin to his Batman.
Right.
So Scottie Pippen was not no slouch neither. I think Scottie Pippen is considered one of the greatest 50 players in that era.
For sure.
He's top 50. He's inserted in the top 50 So he's not a slouch.
He's not. But
does he do that without Michael though?
He couldn't do it out. That's what
because when he went to Portland, it was a wrap.
Because when he went to Portland, even when Michael left and did baseball, Scotty couldn't do it.
Exactly.
So Michael. That's why I say Michael has an impact on a game that I'm just like.
I think the farthest they went was a Eastern Conference Finals with that one year that Scotty took over.
Possibly, yeah.
And then they ran into the Orlando Magic, who had Shaq and Penny, and that was a wrap.
Right.
But
yeah, so like I'm not trying to discredit what LeBron James has done to the game. I think he has moved the needle since Michael Jordan. I think Michael Jordan globalized the game. Michael Jordan is still selling sneakers today in 2023. I mean, I'm wearing them right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I saw you guys on with them. That's why I took mine.
So like globally, he made David Stern is, and God rest his soul, but David Stern, when he was alive, he was eternally indebted to that man because he knew that sole individual globalized the game
for sure.
And made it a household product to consume. Because prior to Michael Jordan, the NBA was struggling with their TV deals. They weren't getting much TV exposure because the league was.
That's why it was on basic cable.
Exactly.
I feel like what LeBron did, and
that's where my rebuttal is. That's why I'm waiting.
No other people has done is that he took in himself as that I'm a brand,
right?
And I am somebody that makes money.
Yeah.
You know, so he took care of his body.
Yeah.
He spent about $1.4 million in his body every year. That one, not a lot of people. And he started that, right?
Yeah.
And then what makes him even more crafty, even more smart, in a way, is that at the end of the day, his name is a brand. He knows what he's bringing to the table. So with him, he knows like, if you sell my jersey, I know what I bring to the money. That's why when people don't like, when everybody says, LeBron should just be a player, it's almost like in his eyes, he's like, nah, I ain't.
And I think that's what Michael Jordan was. He was just strictly a player. He was very silent when it came to political and societal issues.
Just wanted to play basketball.
He just wanted the ball. He wanted the ball. He wanted to win. He was it almost was like a diabolical sense of like nature that he had, that he just did anything by any means necessary to compete and win a championship and win multiple ones. LeBron James is a philanthropist. He's building schools in Cleveland. He gives a lot to the community. The BLM movement, he stood by that. And he stands by it. He is a mouthpiece to the people that can't speak for themselves in his community, in the Black community. So he does. Yeah, so he does a lot for his community. He does a lot for them. Yeah, he's a mogul. He has multiple businesses, and he's just a guy that you find yourself relatable to. Versus Michael Jordan, he was very quiet, wasn't very friendly with the fans per se, and he just didn't want to speak when it came to society issues. We can go back to the Rodney King incident. Michael Jordan was silent. Yeah, we can go. We could name a whole bunch of different spaces and moments in history where Michael Jordan was a prominent athlete in a NBA that was thriving, and whenever there was something going on, whether it be the O.J. Simpson thing, whether it be the riot thing that happened in '92 in LA, whether it be the Rodney King thing, you didn't hear a peep out of Michael Jordan. Granted, there was no social media. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't want to distract from what he came to do. Yeah. He was on a mission.
Yeah.
Like for me, I like people who are like, locked in on a mission. Yeah. Like like with our organization, we're zeroed in. Fundamental step forward, FBC, Supreme Teams out, we're locked in on a vision. And we keep it. That's what we don't want to branch out. Yeah. So that's why I like Michael. Okay.
Yeah. I'm in the middle. I'm kind of in the neutral. I love Michael Jordan to what he did to the game, and I love LeBron James because of the catalog that he has and the longevity that he has, and the fact that he's in like 39 years of age and still competing at a high level, and then having a goal to having a goal to play with his son Bronny is something that's reachable. Yes. For him, which is crazy. Because people a couple years ago would probably doubt that, but seeing how LeBron James is gracefully aging in the league, and he's lost a step or two, but he's still averaging 20 plus points a game.
For sure. That's why with non-basketball stuff.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the greatest athletes ever. Yeah. Just like for everything that he does.
Yep.
But for like real basketball heads, this is no knock to anybody.
Yeah.
It has to be. Like even when you guys say clutch. Yeah. Everyone says that.
Everybody either thinks Kobe or Jordan.
Right.
Yeah.
What is a clutch game? How does LeBron have more clutch games? It doesn't show it in the rings.
Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. And I think the difference is what you and Caleb said. Michael Jordan is just all about balling, and he's lasered in and focused in.
Same thing.
Yeah, same thing. And being focused on one goal can bring you success. And clearly, Michael Jordan has brought success to himself in the teams that he was involved with. So
he does now help.
Yeah.
So if he didn't stay zero focused and locked in on that first target, would he be able to do the things that he's doing right now? Black ownership with the Charlotte Hornets. Right. I mean, he does have schools where he is funding. Right. He does fund kids.
He's just not a mouthpiece like LeBron is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's because we don't always for me. Caleb is the mouthpiece where it comes to a fundamental step forward. Even though he'll make up his face and say no, he's the mouthpiece. I'm the person. I like to do like the background stuff. Yeah. I don't talk too much.
Okay. So. Speaking of the organization, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it real quick, and let's just do a little bit of an intro. And for those that don't know who these beautiful people are, Caleb's back.
Hey.
He's done a couple of pods with me, he's back. But we have a first timer here by Afton Knight, Coach Knight, for some of y'all that already know her. So just give us a little bit of your background, where you came from, what you do now, and the organization that you're involved with.
All right, so I'm Afton Knight. A lot of people know me as Samantha or Coach Knight. I've been teaching for 10 years, coaching for 9 years.
Been to Lakeland twice.
Been to Lakeland twice because he's not going to let me live if I don't stay.
Let that go.
I currently coach.
I don't care for all y'all Palm Beach County coaches. Some of us didn't even get there.
I'm on the awesome staff at the Kings Academy. Shout out to Coach Race.
Let's go.
I'm also coaching at Palm Springs Middle, where we just had another 10-0 season, trying to rebuild that legacy. I coached at Wellington Wolves. Now I have my own organization, which is FBC Supreme Team South. I'm the director. And of course, we have Caleb, who's the co-director, even though he doesn't want to take credit for that. I was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale. How I met basketball was through my grandfather, who used to always take me to the YMCA to play.
Nice.
So shout out to him. God rest his soul.
Yeah.
And that's really it about me. Born and raised in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah. And when I went to school, I went to Oakwood University, which is a private Christian college in Huntsville, Alabama. Yeah. Where they say enter to learn, and depart to serve. So I'm just using myself as a tool now to serve God and help others. Nice. So they can grow closer to Christ.
That's awesome. That is so dope.
Through basketball.
So tell us a little bit of the organization and what because you mentioned when we were talking about Michael Jordan and LeBron James, and Michael Jordan zeroed in, focused, and you guys have a laser sharp focus. What is that focus? What is that core? What are the core values that you have in that focus and that main goal that you have in that organization?
So funny thing is, one day I was talking to Caleb, and I said, I want to start a nonprofit, but I'm not sure on how to do it. I want to focus on mentorship and empowering the young girls in our on the east side, because we work at Palm Springs, and of course we know that's a low income area, right? And a lot of people don't understand, when you mentor and then empower kids, it changes their mindset, it changes their behavior, it changes their grades, it changes test scores. Just breathing life into them, making sure that you're the trusted person. When I started working out, because I didn't start out as a Palm Springs coach, I was just working with the girls after school, and we started out with like 2 or 3, right, Caleb? And then by the time we were done, we had like 20 girls. And, you know, people are trying to bust through the doors, to join Palm Springs basketball for girls. And we were like, man, we could carry this over into the summer because, you know, what are they going to do when May 26 hits? You know? And so we decided to do that. It's a Christian-based organization. This year was our first successful year that we had. I don't know how we made it, but thank God. I know He made a way for us. So
wow, amen.
That's really it.
Wow. And so how has the experience been with dealing with so many different personalities, both on the youth side and the people that you work with and stuff like that? How is that dynamic flow?
That's funny. When I was in college, I took this class called Group Dynamics, which I failed twice.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Okay.
Because obviously I couldn't get it together. On the third go, I finally passed it.
Yeah.
And, you know, in that class, they really talk about how, you know, certain personalities have to mesh well. Like, we have another staff member. Her name is Esther Hagan. Shout out to her. I know she's not here. We almost come like a 3-bundle package. We all have different personalities, and certain girls just bond better with each one of us. So I have few girls who bond well with me. There's few girls that bond well with Coach Caleb, and there's few girls who bond with them. You know, because sometimes I could be too rough. Yeah. And sometimes Caleb could be too rough, and sometimes she's too lax. Oh, okay. So it's all about, you know, how we love on them. You know what I mean? Yeah. So.
What about you, Kay? How do you navigate through that dynamic?
It's like question. The father of the organization.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the father figure,
the big brother, the father,
big brother, father figure, the uncle. Yeah. Where you say, because a lot of times, so my name is Caleb. I basically am like really just kind of do whatever Coach Knight tells me to do, and mainly outreach. A lot of times is that when we deal with East Side kids, and I hate using the word low income area. It's mainly like I'm going to say East Side students. Right. We deal with a lot of females, young women, by the age of 6th grade to 8th grade, even predominantly those age bracket, even high schoolers. We deal with a lot of fatherless kids. Right. And that either fathers don't want to be in their life, or they're just, you know, absent, right? So I come in the scene with this organization alongside her. It's kind of be almost that kind of figure. And I'll be real with y'all, it is hard. Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. Because like me as a male figure, you know, they're like, who are you? Right. Like, you know, for me to tell you to do something, it's like, it's an already fight back, you know what I mean? And it has been, I'm not even going to say this organization has all greatness. It has its up and downs, but what I have seen, the value that we bring in for our kids is that we take our kids and we show them that, hey, there's more out there. Yeah. It's more out there, and we use Christian foundation, which I mean, like, so basketball is the vehicle, right? But we do more than basketball. Really, one, we focus on the key component of mental health. 2, we do focus on their spiritual walk, right? And so what we do, we pray before we hoop. After we pray, we do a devotion, and then after devotion, you know, we go from there. Like you would have no idea, man. A lot of texts we get from young girls that the stuff that they go through. Wow. In the daily aspect of their life. Like I'm talking about go through, and we get to be the bridge. You know what I mean? Like a fundamental step forward, get to be the bridge that could be like, hey, no. You're not going to go this door. No. We're going to create our own door. We're going to create an opportunity for you. So what we did is like we took the aspect of travel basketball, right? Which is AAU. For you guys don't know, it's like American Amateur United or something. AAU American Union. I think American Amateur Union. So we play in AAU live periods and whatever you could say, like those kind of big basketball components. The main goal is not winning tournaments, right? A lot of people think that we as coaches, like, the main goal is to win tournaments. We love that. That's a big bonus. That's a bonus, right? You know what I mean? That's a bonus, you know what I mean? The big thing is that they don't have to stay home during the summer. They don't have to stay into an environment where they're hearing their moms or any situation arguing. They don't have to stay in an environment where they have to wake up every single morning going like, I'm getting numb to this. Yeah. Like, you have no idea, right? This is a truth. This is what became my favorite. This is why I love this organization so much, and why Coach Knight and the team been doing an amazing job. We went to Orlando, right? We went 1-4. Like, I coached a team. I got blown out. I got dusted, guys. Like, blown out. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I learned a lot that day. But here's my favorite part about that. Myself as a coach, I hate losing, right? I wanted to like tell them, yo, I'm about to find a football field and run. Like, we finna run down. My favorite part is we get home back into the Airbnb that we rented, and I almost wanted to cry. Like, automatically I saw girls going upstairs and just hanging out. And as I'm upstairs, I'm frustrated and everything like that. They're not even on their phones. They're just sitting there like playing deck of cards and like literally having community with one another. Wow. And low key, I just kind of wanted to cry that moment because I just sat there and just like, oh, this is it. Yeah. And as one of the students came up to me, right, she was just like, Mr. B, which is Coach B, you know, and she says, I don't even want to go back home. Wow. She's having a great moment and great time being away from an environment that she's so used to for so many years, and they've been plugging negativity and negativity, and now she get to come in, and it's like, wow, this is what it's like, right? Like, this is what I can do, so I can get out of this, so I don't have to be involved with this. And it's like, yeah, you can. So to see them now happening, like, man, we had a girl, and if you don't know, this is FSA, right? The Florida test, what we call it. Oh yeah, now it's called FAST. FAST. Now it's called FAST. Yeah, FAST. We had a kid that was from a level 1. That was in our program. She was a level 1, and you know, Coach Knight got with her and mentored her and everything like that, and then out of nowhere, from a level 1, she became a level 4. Wow. And if you don't know that, that's a big jump. That's like what, 3 points? Like, and I think she was 8 points from a 5. Yeah, she's 8 points from a 5. Really, from a 1 to a 4, that's a big jump, right? That's like, I put it this way: in basketball, from a 1 to a 4, that's like, bro, you're down 30 points. That's like crazy. That's how it feels. Like, you're down 30 points and you got to catch up by the fourth quarter. I feel like that's why when we talk about kids like our ESE, that's a great comparison. It's like being down 30 points, and every year we have to try to make you go up by 5, all the 10. Time. But for her to make a jump like that, wow, it's extremely rare. And like I said, like, what I love about this organization is that number 2 is like, you see people who are not in the scene. Right, it's like a huge shout out to Coach Mario, which is her cousin, an amazing dude who I was just on the phone with. That was just going at me about, you know, what we could do and everything like that. Right. Yeah. Also, like, I just want to, you know, express this. It's like, we have literally the best principal in the state of Florida. Shout out to Dr. McDonough. Like, so much Dr. McDonough. Like, she comes alongside of us. Wow. She don't have to do that as a principal. As a principal, that's not even your duty to like help us and everything like that. Right. Your duty is to like make sure to, like, I have never seen a principal that cares legitimately about her kids. In fact, we don't even call them kids, we call them scholars. Like, that's the vocabulary we need to always use. It's like these are scholars. Right. You know, even when we talk about our athletes, they're scholar athletes. Right. Because she's all about like showing our kids that y'all not what y'all go through here ain't that who y'all are. You know, when you come here, you're more than that. Yeah. And that's what I love, man. And that's what we value, and that's what makes us different. Yeah. And, you know, we're giving them an experience, and we're giving them value. We're showing them that, hey, you're worth more. And like these young ladies, you're worth more. And we use the component of basketball as the vehicle. That's awesome. And it just sounds to me that you guys are, from what I'm hearing and what the viewers are listening, you guys are definitely building culture from the ground up, and it's good culture. Like, it's that culture by, for example, the verbiage. You're not students, you're scholars. You're this, you're not this, you're not that. Just constantly breathing life. And I think when you're constantly
building that culture where it's a positive reinforcement to these kids who obviously are young and have an impressionable mind still, to have that positive reinforcement and building that culture, it's literally giving them an identity. And I think with a lot of the youth, there's an identity crisis. I've heard a pastor, and I forget, it's escaping me now, but I've seen it on YouTube. He had a sermon called, I want to say it was called Identity Crisis. And a lot of us, especially here in the Western culture, in America especially, in the Western culture, we as young adults, as youth, like we struggled at some point or another with our identity, like what we identify with. And if we don't have a faith-based identification where we can identify ourselves as men of God or women of God or children of God, we're going to find somewhere else to identify ourselves with. We find identity in a spouse. We find identity in a boyfriend and a girlfriend. We find identity in the status that we may have at our workplace or at a school even.
It's like spiritual warfare.
Yeah, it is a little bit of spiritual warfare because what happens to spark that? Once that gets ripped away from you, who you are now.
Exactly.
If you get fired from your prestigious job, your identity in your job is no longer.
Right.
And so now you get stripped from that relationship and you find yourself alone. You find yourself not identifying with that anymore. So whenever something gets pulled away from you, that's when the spiritual warfare kind of comes in and you're in the dark and you're seeking. And a lot of these kids seek in places that are unfortunately around them. And when they come from an ecosystem where there's violence, there's depravity, there's obscurity, there's negativity and drugs, and I mean we can name a slew of different things.
It's funny.
And they become a byproduct of their environment because they don't have an identity as to who they really are and what they can become from that place. So if you identify yourself as I'm a man of God, or I'm a child of God, I may be in this predicament, but I know God's going to get me elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you don't have that identity set in stone that God is with you and not against you, I think you can build from that and have success in that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I was agreeing with you on that.
Yeah.
I remember even sometimes when you change their environment because of what they know and what they're used to and what they see at home, sometimes it'll still rear its ugly head. So like somebody would be conversing with you. I'll tell you a story real quick. We had a player, she was very passionate about basketball, but she only knew how to like raw. Everything was like yelling because that's what she's used to.
The environment she came from,
Right. And so it would come off as being rude or being disrespectful to the coach. But that was never the case. It's just, I want to win, but this is the only way I know how to communicate with you. You know what I mean? She was in a great environment.
Right.
Like during the day.
Yeah.
But what you see at home, that's what's going to ooze out. But you know, at the end, she ended up giving her life to Christ. Wow. She's a whole lot more calmer now. Yeah. You know, we still have a pretty decent relationship.
That's also key is relationships, right, Caleb? I think.
For sure.
Because knowing Caleb, as long as I've known Caleb, like Caleb's definitely into the business of that culture. Like relationships is a big deal. You know, and how you cultivate those relationships and how you steward those relationships is where you find the fruit in it. So how is it that you can, what you could bring in the table as far as cultivating those relationships and allowing them to grow, especially dealing with youth?
I think, that's good. So I'll just say, for example, what I do at my job, at Palm Springs Middle School, I get the opportunity to be a BIA. What BIA stands for is Behavior Interventionist Associate. So basically, I deal with behavior kids.
Quote unquote troubled kids.
Yeah, quote unquote troubled kids, right? Bro, I love my job. It's so unpredictable. Like you don't know what day you're gonna come in. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll never forget my first day working there. Mind you, you know me. I'm from like she didn't know me like that, but I'm a youth ministry.
Yeah,
right? So I deal with different type of kids, right? I get to come into a school where it's 1,596 kids, and that's what we call EBD unit, which is the type of kids I deal with, right? I'm just like, okay, these are the only kids I'm dealing with, but no, I'm actually dealing with all 1,596 kids plus on this type of kids. So I'm sitting here like, okay, how's this going to work? Like, how am I going to build relationship with every single? So I was kind of like very worried because all I do is love building a relationship.
Right.
So there was an incident that happened with this student with a teacher. Like this student flat out cussed at the teacher.
Wow.
And like walked out of class. And I got to experience that kid. As I'm just sitting there like connecting with the kid and everything, I'm getting frustrated. I'm like, yo, bro, what's your beef? Like, what is going on with you? Like, like it's just so like, then I start, all right, I'm gonna match your culture. Is that how you gonna act? I'm gonna act the same way. And automatically, like I felt the Spirit talk to me. Literally right there, it said, the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, faithfulness, and self-control. Yeah. So I'm just like, all right, God, like, what are you trying to tell me? So as this happened, this kid like walked around the what we call is our courtyard, and it's a bicycle, and I'm just sitting there watching, and he comes back and he said, Mr. B, man, like I ain't gonna lie to you, man, I had a good day. So if I don't have a good day, man, I tend to snap because I just don't know how to express myself. Wow. So as that happened, it then began to open my mind like, this is it. Like, this is where ministry needs to really happen. Right. So then I start building connections. What teachers would say them as trouble kids, I don't look at them as trouble kids. And so I never try to use the word them as trouble kids or they're bad kids. I use baby kids. I call them my baby kids, or my special childs. That's what I would say. Yeah. But for me, how we're different, and this is how I explain it, because Coach Lawson and Mario, who I was on the phone with, is so right. How we're so different, because other teachers would just go home, and that's it. Because, which truth be told, they should, because they have spent hours and hours and hours working and hours putting in teacher planning and working, you know what I mean? Like most teachers, some teachers don't, I'm not knocking them off.
I was once that teacher.
But you know what I mean? But we do is that we stay behind and we build that relationship. And I knew the relationship worked, Javi, because here's how I knew. One day this girl, she was cussing. This girl got in a fight. This is the girl that we knew. She got in the fight. Can I tell you what she did? Normally, right after you get in the fight, you're going to keep fighting, right? Right after she got in the fight, you know what she did? She came straight to my office and sat down. Said, hey, Mr. B, I just want to let you know I got in a fight. So automatically, people would have been crazy, like upset at her and everything. So I asked her, why did you get in the fight? And then she said, man, Mr. B, I'll be real with you. No one ever bothered to sit down and be like, to let us speak. Right. So you understand us. So when she said those words, that you understand us, that's when I knew that, man, I have a relationship with that person. Students. Yeah. Like literally I can, I don't have to do so much hard work with students because I have that loving relationship with them. Right? Our basketball boys, our basketball girls, those are the main students that really run our school. Right? I'm just being totally honest. All athlete kids run our school, and I have a relationship with those students. Right? Yeah. And even to the point that they and it's annoying because last year we used to hide away. We used to try to hide because we didn't even have time for ourselves. Wow. But because we had a relationship with them, they rather get out of trouble. Right. They rather not be in drama, and they rather hang out with us. Wow. So I knew we had a relationship. So that's like a more of a mutual respect that you guys build. It's a very mutual respect thing, and it's a very relationship thing because they're not willing to tell us anything. Right? Yeah. They would tell Coach Knight things. They would tell me things. Yeah. It is that great relationship. There's just one story too. This is somebody who I call a daughter of mine, right? And she is, a lifestyle that I recommend nobody to live in, right? She struggles with homosexuality, right? So she went to church, and her pastor kind of told her oh, yeah, you're going to hell because you're gay, and there's no hope for you, and everything like that. So me, I'm frustrated. I'm furious. Like, I'm pulling up at this dude's church, because that's how fierce I am.
You're going to spin the block.
Like, you know what I mean? But when I went to Rita's, with the student, sat down, she needed to hear from me, which I could have been the final piece of it all. I could have either shattered her faith or I could have built it right back up.
Right.
She said, Mr. B, what do you think? Like, what do you feel about this? And from there, like, because I have a relationship with her, she asked me, what do I think? Because I have a relationship with her, how I answer can dictate everything.
Right. Yeah.
So
it could have dictated with some kids because of the identity crisis.
Right.
That could dictate their lives.
Your lives. You know what I mean? So like, it's like, so oh no, all Christians. No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Like what she's saying is right. No, let me tell you something, man. Like him, like most Christians, they're tripping.
Yeah. And we all sin. We're not far from from that.
All the time.
Just because our sin looks a little different than their sin, it doesn't make us any better. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what I would say. It's like, how we get to the kids is we don't. Let me tell you something. It's not no secret DNA. It's not no secret formula. You don't even have to go to a conference format. There's no special. Listen, you want to know how to win students' heart? Don't be fake.
Right.
That's really
because they can smell it.
Yeah, absolutely. Nowadays, absolutely. Like these kids now with TikTok and social media, they're smart. They're picking up things off online. These kids are very, very aware of what's going on in the temperature gauge in society because of the social media stuff that they see, the certain movements that go on, from the BLM movement to the Pride movement to every kind of movement. They're very well versed as to what is going on around us in a regional perspective and also in a global perspective, because social media makes this world a little smaller now.
Right.
Because we're
magnifying glass.
It's a magnifying glass, and from a keystroke to a swipe, you're in some type of headline, reading a headline. We spoke off camera about the headlines that we wanted to cover, like the Alabama stuff that happened not too long ago, the Lizzo lawsuit that's been going on, and to the Tory Lanes of the world and stuff like that. There's a lot of information out there. You know what I'm saying? And like Caleb, like you said, building relationship takes work. You know what I'm saying? It does take work, but it also, what I feel too is I think that you guys and a lot of you guys and a lot of people that do similar things that you guys do is that you guys dig deep and get down in the trenches with them.
Yeah, I feel to add on to that too is emotional awareness.
Right.
If you can allow people to just talk, that's a big game changer.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know how to express themselves.
Right.
Hence why he said that the girl just had the outburst.
Yeah.
Or why we fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Being emotionally aware.
Yeah.
That's how I start getting down in the trenches. I think that's what sets me and Caleb different from a lot of other teachers or other people, or why we're thriving. Yeah,
absolutely. And I see that just from hearing your stories and hearing how you guys navigate through the dynamic of the student-teacher relationship, student-coach relationship. That's very important. But you guys are literally, you guys don't punch in your card and then go home. You guys are literally in the trenches with them. And the students see that. They feel that. They appreciate that. When you start appreciating them, it's a very reciprocal relationship. It reciprocates back to you. You show them kindness, greatness, and all these other things, and then they'll reciprocate that back in some type of form. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be a respect, whether it be in honoring you, respecting you, understanding you. They reciprocate that back because you guys are down there in the trenches. You guys meet them where they're at. If they're struggling with XYZ, Caleb's down there in the trenches, and he meets them where they're at. We go back to how Jesus was walking on this earth. He met people where they were. He loved them so much that he didn't leave them where they were. You know, he turned a Samaritan, essentially a Samaritan prostitute at the well, and left her and as an evangelist. In one conversation, Jesus turned a known prostitute that was sleeping around with a bunch of men, and turned her into an evangelist. And I think that you guys are taking that approach too with your students. You're taking the students and you're seeing them where they're from, their environment that they're in, the ecosystems that they're, literally grown from, and you're turning them into scholars. You're turning them into God-honoring people that honor one another, people that want to communicate with one another, and kids that just want to do fellowship with one another. Caleb had a perfect example as to when you guys were in Orlando after a horrible loss. They went back to the Airbnb and they were chopping it up and having a good old time, playing cards and communicating and having conversation and doing like what community should look like,
right? And
not really weeping about a loss of a basketball game, because at the end of the day, it's just a game, right?
Right.
We do want to win, and it's good to tally. It'll come, and it's good to tally the wins over the losses. But I think the major capital W win is Caleb experiencing that moment, seeing a group of girls just having a good old time, having community, and not finger pointing and playing the shame game and the blame game, and getting into that negative environment, like, oh, we lost because of you, and because kids can get there. They start playing the blame game. They blame their coaches. They blame the other person that, oh, you didn't pass the ball, you're a bull hog, or you know what I'm saying. So to actually navigate through that and be down in the trenches, I think that's why you guys are experiencing so much success in that arena. Yeah.
Very successful, and it's great moments. Like even when we're going back home from Orlando, like we're bumping to like Justin Bieber, like kids is in the car screaming, and we're like, yo, like as they get older, they're gonna remember this moment.
Absolutely.
Like we created an experience for a moment, and they would get older. As they get older, they remember. I'll never forget when so and so did this, and I need to do this for Mike. See, it's a ripple. Like when we talk about like you got to be in the trenches and the clock in, clock out,
building culture,
like it does take a grinding of it, but it takes a village. See, this is the thing that I was telling Knight when she planned this whole organization, she created it, right? Because she had the vision, and I just said, all right, we're gonna execute it, boom, 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 execute it. And then, I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, so many times we're like, man, where the finance gonna come? Like, where the money gonna come? How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do that?
Yeah.
How are we gonna pull this off? How are we gonna do, but over time, man, like, sometimes, and even when I realize it's like, it takes a whole community for us to continue to expand kids. Because it cannot just be us two. Right. Because, again, understand, we have lives, right? We have lives. Like, ministry, even how it comes, like it's first not is the first ministry is your family. It's God and your family, and the work that we do, right?
Yeah.
But because we are a village, it's like, what, Coach Knight, go home, I got this, or vice versa, I got this, or vice versa. Hey, I can take them. You spend the time. You know what I mean? Like this is how we do it. Like this is what I'm trying to teach, like show her. And over time she's doing it. I'm like, listen, when we go on the travel, it's a vacation. Like, yeah, we coaching. Yeah, we making sure we trying to get them to the top. But really, this is a vacation because we have put a lot of heart, sweat, blood, tears into this.
Right. That,
man, we deserve ourselves too. Like, we deserve our time too. And then you see that. And you see the fruit of it comes like we we're not big, not yet, not even in social media like that, anything like that. We took 2 kids and make it to 30. Like in a ratio like that, that's huge.
Yeah,
you know
for
what I mean? We did 2.
That's always a win. Yeah,
and that's a win, right? Yeah. And for us, it's like we're not so comped about the numbers, right? We're more about impacting kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And those stories that, like, we have 3 kids right now that just went on the force, and all 3 of them about to play varsity for basketball.
Wow.
And they're freshmen.
They're freshmen? Wow.
We got one kid that just went to John Allen Leonard, and she's playing basketball. She's going to play varsity. And she's a freshman, right? And that's a good win. But the best one of it all is that as I'm on the phone with them, I say, hey, we're trying to apply in the freshman. Oh, we're going to apply what you said, Coach B. We're going to take our freshman year very seriously. We're going to make sure our work is done. all that kind of stuff. And I always tell them, I say, if you're ever in trouble, what do you do? And we're just gonna reach out to you guys.
Yeah, that's a good open communication to have.
It's an open communication, and because it's not just us two. You know what I mean? That's why I said we have Mario, we have Dr. McDonough, like we have Coach Hagan, like we have Coach Knight Mom, like there's things that we do a lot. And that people we have great teachers that are on our side.
Like I even actually say we actually have a parent. We have
parent support.
Which is huge.
It's so huge because here's why it's huge because people are so used to like the West Side. They're the ones with the great parents and support system. But what we do is that, and this is why you have to be in the trenches, and this is why you have to be nitty gritty. Like we pull up to their house.
Where
your mama at? Let me talk to your mama.
Oh yeah, that happened today.
You know what I mean?
I don't want to speak. Let me speak to the adult.
Let me speak to the adult. Like let me pull up at your mama house so your mama can understand that hey, this is who we are.
Right.
Your mom might not come to the meetings because my mama never comes to basketball meetings.
Right.
My mama never came to my game. My mama never came to hear me first preach and everything like that.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. But my mama did know who so and so was, right? My mama did know that this person is really supporting my child
and investing in your child.
Investing in child. You see, so one thing about our whole parents, man, they know for a fact that they're investing in our child.
Wow.
They're investing in our kids because to get your kid to the next level, to get your kid to be successful, not just in basketball but in life, man, we have to teach you life skills.
Yeah.
Right? Like for example,
that's how I look at it. It's bigger than basketball.
It's bigger than basketball.
We're big on life skills.
Yeah, like I'm not even trying to be a jerk, man. Our kids fall. A lot of coaches go out there. We're not, because guess what you gotta learn. You gotta learn how to get up.
Yeah.
But here's the beauty about you getting up. Stay down. Because you know why you gotta stay down? Because community picks you up. You see the difference? There's 5 players that's playing at a time, right, on that court.
Right.
So when one falls down, guess what the other 4 can go do? Is pick you up. In community, you need lifetime friends to pick you up because there are times you can pick up by yourself, but there are times that I need community.
You need a lift.
That's what I love in history. That when they would fight, they wouldn't fight just on the front line because you got to remember when you're fighting on the front line, it's just you right here on the front line.
Yeah.
But who got my back?
Right.
Because there's soldiers coming through the back too.
Who's going to cover your blind spots?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why, and if you look at the movie 300, you see how they do shields and everything.
Yeah.
How they put one on top, one in the middle, one in the bottom. See, that's community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we teach our girls that, all right, you fall down, where everybody else come pick you up. You know what I mean? Like those are community. Like, oh, you need help with math? Good. Not only are we gonna help you in math, the other teammate gonna help you with math because this is community.
Yeah.
Like that's the first thing. But what you're learning about communities is you're learning how to find the right community.
Yeah.
Because if you find the wrong community, you're gonna be in the wrong spot.
And you know what I mean? You can almost compare it. It's almost like gang culture.
Yeah. So that's why I'm like, and we have students that were in the wrong community, but they have to learn. You see, we didn't tell them, oh, come to us. They have to learn. They have to learn the process. And when they come to us in the room and teared up and everything, they're wondering, why am I going through what I'm going through? We tell them, well, perfect. I'm glad you said that because here's why. You're in the wrong community. Because you're in the wrong community, you ain't gonna get nowhere.
Yeah.
So if you have to stay still, you're never gonna get anywhere.
Right.
You're just gonna stay stagnant forever. And that's why it's so important with the community. So we're teaching our kids community based. We're teaching our kids how to be leaders and how to be champions. Like we're teaching them life skills. Like we teach them when you're down by 20, it's not just basketball. Man, there's times you're gonna be down by 20 in life.
Facts.
Like when you don't know when you're gonna get your FPL bill.
Yeah.
And you wondering where the money is. You're wondering how you're gonna get gas, the inflation, all that. Right now, we're down by 20 right now. So how do we bounce back up? Even though we're down by 20, what do we have to do? Do we have to do a full court man-to-man press? Do we have to, run, our plays like 50, 53? Okay, how do we get back up to where we need to go? Because it's not just basketball, it's life. And we tell our ladies, you will be down by 20 in life. Be ready.
Yeah.
I cannot hide it. We cannot hide it away from them.
Yeah.
That you will never be down by 20 because you will be down by 20. I don't care if you have the resource or you don't have it.
I'll piggyback off of that. I like the saying. It says when you fall, the good thing about falling is you fall forward.
That's right.
So you're actually one step closer.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you fall, I fall like this. That's a step closer. So when I get up, I'm not getting up backwards and falling back. I'm falling forward. You know what I mean?
That's a good analogy, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm big on that.
Yeah.
Another thing that I'm big on, and I always I'm trying to get that into to Caleb now. I don't coach the scoreboard.
Yeah.
Because if I don't coach the scoreboard and I'm just coaching, everything's gonna fall into place. We could be down by 30. If you're doing what you're supposed to do, and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, we'll be fine. Don't worry about the scoreboard ever.
Right.
Because I'll be real with you, and I'm glad we have this recorded. We can be known. Give us 3 to 5 years, baby. You will know FBC Supreme Team South as the #1 travel organization in Palm Beach County.
Wow.
You will know us. Mm-hmm. But right now, that's not where our mind is.
Yeah.
Because we gonna get there.
Yeah.
Our mind is right now is that we gotta impact these kids.
Yeah.
Because when you impact these kids and make a difference, it's gonna be emotional for me when the day I get to see one of our students, Boo, Jada, Krista, Shantoria. It's gonna be so emotional for me on the day when I see them on signing day getting to sign to go to college.
Wow.
That's gonna be so emotional.
Yeah, I think that's like the ultimate goal is to get them there.
Yeah. To get them, because that's when I get to say, yeah, we did.
And the grind is building culture. The grind is getting down in the trenches, and that is a grind, and that comes to long nights, long days, frustrating days.
I just dropped off a whiteboard and a pack of markers to one of my players. Write your goals.
Yeah.
Write it, and make sure when you put it up right in front of you. So the first thing that you do when you rise up is you see your goals. So now you pray. Yeah. And then I reread my goals.
Right.
Or something that Caleb was saying. It was like a mantra. He was like, we need to start saying certain mantras or saying what we want in the morning as soon as we wake up. Yeah. So then we speak life into it. Yeah, for sure. And I feel like that's something that improves the culture as well.
It does, and also carrying a spirit of gratitude, like just being grateful and being thankful for the spaces and places that you're currently in, being present. And things like that. I think being present is so hard for young kids now because everything's so instant gratification based. Like everything's like it has to happen now. I gotta have the 6-pack abs now. I have to have the 6-figure job now. Like everything is like they need it now. And I think a lot of that is because of social media.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
Social media is such a like. It does move culture and in its good ways and in its bad ways. It has its pros and cons, if you will. But it does move culture in some way, shape, or form. And I think with the young, with the youth especially, it does get a little bit treacherous when everything looks shiny and it looks like gold. But my grandma always used to say, not everything that shines is gold.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My grandma used to always say that, and a lot of the junk that's out in the TikToks and in the Instagrams and in the Snapchats, a lot of it may look shiny, a lot of it may look good and appealing, but it's fool's gold, man. It's fool's gold. I think getting to the diamond in the rough does take work. To create a diamond does take pressure. And thriving in that pressure and how you're going to navigate in that is where you can create a diamond out of these kids. So some of these kids have a little rough around the edges, right? but I think with the work that you guys are doing, it's definitely commendable. It's admirable. I think you guys are doing an amazing job. And it's not easy, because if it was, anybody would be doing this, or everybody would be doing this. But it's great that you guys are definitely breathing life into these kids, especially the kids that come from these certain environments, these certain ecosystems that they're kind of in and stuff, and to breathe life into that, and you guys are able to minister to them and give them faith, give them Jesus.
And that's what makes us so separate. Like, even I'll never forget when Coach Knight called me, and Coach Knight was like, "Hey, like Doug, which is shout out to Doug. Doug is the direct guy of Supreme Team, just the organization at FBC. Shout out to Coach Mo. Like what I love about what us as this is why this community is so good. It's because Doug reached out to her about one of our players, right? I know a lot of people in organizations that are like, nah. She called me and asked me how I felt. And I was like, listen, if this is what to get her to the path that she needs, we don't, right? We don't need to hold, because so many times we like to hold, and I think what's so different about us as an organization is that we're like, hey, we want to build you, we want to groom you, and not go do what God has for you to go do.
Yeah.
Right? And that's almost happened with this girl. It's like she's gonna now play for the next big stage, which is amazing, right?
Yeah.
I could have been a coach like, nah, bro, ain't gonna happen. But because she gets to play at that next level, and because she get to go to that next level, now she get to perform and do what God has her, and love doing what basketball do. Yeah. And we get to say that's amazing. Like Coach Knight always told me, like, when you drive into Palm Springs Middle, right? Mm-hmm. And I was waiting a day to tell this to Dr. McDonough. It might be on the last day, but like you go in and says like, get ready to learn, right? Something like that.
Enter to learn.
Enter to learn, mm-hmm. Right? It says enter to learn when you drive into Palm Springs. Now, when you leave, it says depart to serve. Yeah. So come in and learn. Now go ready and serve. Go serve your community. Go serve your people. Go serve. Yeah. And we get to do that with these girls, because we never promise. You see, when we use basketball as a vehicle, yes, we're a travel team. Listen, I'm gonna be real with you. We're not promising you like, oh yeah, come with us, you're automatically D1 or all that kind of stuff. Right. No. Yeah. What we do promise you, that I will say that's different, is that we are structured. Number two, like, we're very skilled, and here's what I mean about skills development. Like, we literally train our girls, right, through the health and fitness. So we teach them what not to eat. We teach them what to eat. Like, we dig deep. We show them basketball IQ knowledge and also how to play and how to apply it in life skills, right? Yeah. Like that's why I said, like, a lot of our girls I was at Palm Springs and went in to play varsity. Yeah. They didn't play varsity because, they didn't do no work.
I was about to say, Coach, one of our girls not even playing basketball. Yeah. She'll be singing chorus, but we changed her lifestyle.
And
she knows to eat. She knows the proper time, what her body needs.
And that girl can sing. That girl can sing, Javi. And you know what I mean? But she knows what to eat. She knows what to do. She knows she's always active. You know what I mean? And what I love about her is now she's self-confident. Now you can't.
Shout out to Coach B for that. She needed a father figure in her life, someone to listen.
Yeah, that's what it was, because I make sure, listen, and this is why I want to say this, and this is off subject, but this is what I want to say. For a lot of people who are single mothers, allow mentors who are men to impact your daughter. Yeah. It's not that they're coming in to take away the love from you. No. Allow them to make an impact, because all it takes is one wrong dude to come in that woman's life and to say the word, you're so beautiful. I love you. You look good. Let me take you out to these places. And for her whole life to fully transition and say, I idol this man, and I worship this man. So what I did with this girl, right? I made sure she know that, hey, if any man try to take you out to these places, it's already been done before.
So now you got to meet the standard.
Because now they got to meet the standard.
Nice.
Oh, you took me out the melting pot? Yeah, done that. I actually did that with Coach B. Like, I want you to make it sound boring. Right. Because it's nothing against their riz or their softness. No, it's that, hey, you can't play me because I know my worth. Yeah. You can't play me because I know who I am now. I got that self-confidence. That's why every time I would take a group out and everything, like, I go top of the top with my girls. Because why? Because I need them to know that, hey, like, not only because you guys are soon going to be wives. You guys are soon going to be having family and stuff like that. So if somebody trying to take you to a place that you're like, I already did that. Oh, let's go get. I already got my nails done before. Like, nice. Why? It's not, and that's why I pray for single moms to really hear this, because we need brothers and men like us to come into the life and to make an impact.
Essentially be a mentor.
Yeah, essentially be a mentor. Because the one thing I'm seeing with single moms, because you can't be a mom and a dad. I'm sorry, like I'm just gonna keep it at 100. Like you can't be a mom and a dad, right? Like that's what for me, who live in a single parenthood. Yeah, my mom could not be my mom and a dad, right? I had to have Charlton Hope.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I had to have Daniel Young to come in my life. Kenny did. I had to have them. Yeah, because I had them. Like now I move different. Yeah, you know what I mean. Absolutely. So like with these ladies, and I'm just like telling them like, nah, man. Like even from time to time, I be like, wow, you look so amazing today. Man, you're doing a great job today. Why? Because if a guy tells you that, you're already so wired and used to hearing that. Like it's like, yeah, bro, nah, you ain't trying that phony stuff. Yeah. But I have seen in our school that they will fall in love with these guys. Because why? Because this guy, all he said was that, wow, baby, you look beautiful. Wow, babe, I love you.
And those dangerous three words.
And they would do anything. They would do anything for him. When that's not his.
Single moms, if you're listening, there's power of a mentorship.
There's power in mentorship, so much power in mentorship, more than we think. Yeah. And again, like I'm not, and again, I even tell moms like, hey, listen, if you feel like I'm going too far, let me know. But I'm not here to let you know that, oh yeah, you're not a great mother. No, I'm not doing that. I'm here to fill a need that needs to be met, right? And that's going to take it to the next level.
I almost want to say, filling a need. I feel like that's kind of lowballing it. Yeah. It's almost like enhancing, because the father figures that I've had in my life, my stepdad, Coach Gaffney, Coach Timms, Coach Williams, rest in peace. Those were very important guys in my life. Coach Williams and Coach Timms is the reason why I'm a travel coach. Right. Why I've had any success.
That's dope.
Right. Like travel. And even when I got my first high school job, the first person I reached out to was Coach Timms.
Nice.
You know, anytime when I have any type of success, we'll be on Facebook, or if I see him, we'll chop it up. Or when I call my stepdad, it's just important for me to have those conversations. Yeah. I remember when I talked to Coach B, I said, you know, I only spent like 3 days in Jamaica, but the time that I went and I saw my stepdad, I can come back and I just feel like I'm at so much peace. Wow. Yeah. You know, because like conversations that you can have with your mom, it's not the same.
It's not the same, yeah. I don't think women can teach men how to be men, and vice versa. Men can teach women how to be women. Mm-hmm. Although there is mentorship, like when it comes to mentorship, since we're on the topic of mentorship, there is power in that, because I feel like when you're mentoring the youth and you're mentoring these kids, it's giving them, you're adding value to their life. You're
like that.
Yeah, so you're adding value, you're making them feel like they're worth something, you're giving them worth. Like with me, I want to make sure that they know that they were wonderfully made, fearfully made by our grand creator. Verse, you know what I'm saying? Like
Psalms 139:14.
Exactly, Psalms 139:14. Like you were fearfully and wonderfully made by a grand creator. You know what I'm saying? And adding like that value and pouring into them in that way is a game changer for them, because it's something that they've never heard before. Maybe you know, maybe they don't have a father figure, and they're hearing that for the first time. It's kind of like foreign to them. But once they start hearing it more and more, it's like adding, and you're depositing more value into their lives, and then they start realizing their worth. And then once you know that they realize their worth, you just add more tax to that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Know your worth, but then add more tax. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Add tax. 100%. And I think that approach definitely is so kingdom building. It's a kingdom builder mentality. Like, man, we're not just you know, building culture here. We're building communities here. We're building the kingdom here, and we're building you know champions and scholars here. You know what I'm saying? Winners. And not necessarily winning in the scoreboard, like you said, but winning in a place where you can tackle life with a winning mentality.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? You're not the victim anymore. You're walking with authority, and you're walking with purpose.
Yeah, like I like to tell Caleb this. He always hears me tell the kids, when you point right at somebody, how much fingers is pointed back at you?
4.
3.
Oh, 3. Yeah,
right
3. Yeah.
So every time you say, you did this to me, did I really do it?
Yeah, for sure.
Because you did 3 times to yourself before you allowed me to do it. You know what I mean?
That's so good. That is super good. Yeah. I think that's very, very important to build culture and have a reciprocal relationship with these kids, because they read right through fake. We can be cookie cutter and fake with them, and they're gonna read right through it
every time.
And they're gonna rebuttal you. They're gonna there's always gonna be a but. Yeah, but this and but that, and I don't really feel that because of this and because of that. But once they start seeing that you're willing to be in the mud pit with them and crawl in the mud with them and enjoy the fruits of your labor alongside with them, I think that goes a long way, and they draw nearer to you, and they build that respect because you guys were willing to build that culture where it's like, hey, it's not just on you, it's on us. We're gonna win together, but we're also gonna lose together. And how we lose, we're gonna learn from that, because they are moral wins in a loss.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. There is a moral win in a loss, so that's so good. So that was a good conversation. If there's anything that you guys want to share or just leave the audience with people that may want to start their own nonprofits and want to be mentors and to potential mentorees, what would be a suggestion or an advice to someone that may be looking to being a mentor to the youth or even in their own communities to help build a winning culture like you guys are building? Well,
I'll start off with if you're interested in being funding a nonprofit or starting your own nonprofit, something that Caleb always says to me: make sure that you have your core, your community, your trusted people, because we're not perfect, and it's a constant uphill battle. Some people you'll spend a lot of time working on group dynamics again, because everybody has to be good at something. You know what I mean? Some people will step out of lane, and you're gonna have to find that way to not lose your cool. Just from being the leader of this organization, that's something that I'm constantly learning. Like, picking my battles, knowing who's good at what, trying to not really avoid conflict, but like trying to keep it just leveled.
Even keeled.
I'm going to let our mouthpiece of our organization answer the other questions when it comes to mentorship. Because that's something that, you were saying something about single moms, and I feel like some of that is we got to release some of the control, because that was a problem with my mom, and I love my mom. There's nothing against her. It's something that we talked about and we gotten through. Sometimes we got to release some of that control, because that's what hinders the growth of our young people.
And they fail to see it.
Right.
They think they're doing a betterment, but they're actually hindering a little bit.
They're just trying to win the battle and not win the war of life.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have to like almost look at the end game.
Yeah,
you know
for sure.
I mean?
Absolutely.
So you had to look at it the long way.
The big picture.
Yeah,
big picture. Caleb, any encouraging words before we go?
The encouraging words I got, well, one, I just want to honor Coach Knight. Because I want to tell y'all something. It's not easy to create a nonprofit. And sometimes people say, I started with this, I started with that. And, like, she started with nothing. $0, 0 penny, and for her to continue to move on forward, to continue to pursue and still go strong, I think that is a tremendous honor. And sometimes she doesn't know that she adds so much value than she thinks, and really that's why I approached up to you, Javi, because she deserves a very accolade, because the stuff y'all see that Coach Knight does is tremendous. And and sometimes she don't even give praise to her own. So that's why, like, I want to give her honor in this podcast, because she deserves so much praise. She deserves so much love because of what she does day in and day out. And if only y'all knew, the love that she has for these kids and the miles and the steps she's going to go far. I give her so much praise, and I cannot wait to see a fundamental step for us succeed because of her leadership. So shout out to Coach Knight.
Shout out to Coach Knight. Let's give a round of applause here. Oh. Hey, do I have one? I think I do.
Do you have one?
Yeah. Praise God. Yeah.
Too, man. Shout out to you, Avi.
I appreciate
that. Thank you for the opportunity.
For this to be man. Season 2. Like if you guys didn't know, I got, I get to walk alongside my brother. And,
2 years going strong with this.
Still going strong, and just knowing what he was going through in the secret storm. Mm-hmm. That's what I call it. I call it the secret storm. And for him to still do this podcast. And for this podcast to still be elevated, man. Yeah. The man's in season 2. He doesn't know, but I still watch his podcast, to this day. And Javi, I give you honor because, bro, this is a man that's always checking in. If you're in Javi's life, man, you're blessed. And you view
that's become my nickname now. Yeah. Everybody calls me check-in. Yeah, what up, check-in? Because that's my thing. I'm like, hey, just checking in.
Checked in on me. I was like, wow. And it was at the right time. So I just want to let you know, I really appreciate it because I was like, there's a lot of times where he'll tell you, I spent a lot of time in my own head.
Yeah, all of us. All of us.
Snapped me out of it before I went down the rabbit hole. So I appreciate you.
It's all good.
Seriously, and I appreciate Javi for what he does. And I'm super excited for season 3 to come on and I can't wait to connect with him and talk to him about. But Javi, man, I'm proud of you, man. What you've been doing, who you are, and still growing this ministry, dude. I saw you from season 1 to who you are now. I'm like, dude, Javi is literally killing the game, and I'm just so proud of you, bro.
Appreciate you.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you, sir.
And for mentorship, guys, man, it's just you guys have to find the heart. Once you find the heart of it, man, then you'll realize that, once I find the heart, then I can make an impact. Yeah. And if you go in there thinking that I can make money out of this, I can make...
You're going to fail quick.
Bread out of this, you're going to lose it all. Because remember, when Jesus went out, Jesus even told the person, he said, Jesus, I want to follow you. And he told the man, he said, well, come. And then Jesus he told Jesus, well, wait, I got to go bury my father. And he told him word for word, well, let the dead stay buried. Let the dead bury itself. Come on. Right? And to that knowledge that Jesus is saying that, he's like, listen, if you want to be discipled, right? If you want to be into this world of being a discipleship, this is how discipleship takes, right? It takes a sacrifice and everything. So that's when I realized what mentorship means to me. Yeah. It means sacrifice. Yeah. I'm sacrificing. I got to sacrifice a time, that I'm doing, for 2 hours or whatever, and literally put into the students. So for me, I'm like, all right, you know what? I'm going to carve out of my PS5 time. Yeah. And I'm going to give it to you students. Amen. And I think that's what you guys have to, because everybody could be a mentor. Yeah. And it is not impossible to be a mentor. It's just about you being consistent. Yeah. Because on the first day, I'll be real with you, you might get some cussing from students. On the second day, they might look at you fake. Yeah. On the third day, they might do this. On the fourth, fifth, sixth, yeah. But the 7th day, the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th, they will realize something. Wow, you're consistent. Yeah. And I will randomly open up, and you will see it as it goes. And you're like, wow, I done made an impact. So that's what I'll say about mentorship. Is
nice.
So I think we could do something: sacrifice, service, consistency. If you want to be a mentor,
those are the big three. The big three. Yeah. Real quick, the name of your organization one last time for the viewers?
It's A Fundamental Step Forward.
And you guys do have a .org or .com?
We are working on the .org.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So how can the people give to the organization right now?
So we do have a Instagram. It's going to be through our Supreme South page. Okay. Our mouthpiece has the actual.
All right. So I will get the links from these beautiful people, and I will put it on my description, and the links will be provided for you. Yeah, there's a link for it. There's a link for the IG page, and we'll go from there. Awesome. Thank you again, guys. You guys were amazing. This was an amazing talk. I think people will get a lot of good information and just perspective on what it's called to do life with the youth. So thank you again, guys. And guys, if you're new, don't forget to smash that subscribe button on all social media platforms and on Spotify. Go ahead and share that link. on Spotify to keep the algorithm going. It really does help. But again, thank you guys.
Follow Caleb at Caleb.
Yeah, follow Caleb. I'm going to leave all the links in the description below, guys. Thank you again, and thanks for watching the show. Peace.